Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak to you today with conviction, not mere hope, but certainty. Certainty that if you truly believe, act, and persist, then everything in your life will work out because you have already decided that it must. There is a power, invisible to the eye, but unmistakable in its results. It begins when you carry yourself with a calm assurance that everything will fall into place, not by chance, but by the force of your own thoughts, your faith, and your action. This is not wishful thinking. It is a command to the universe, backed by action. You must act as if everything always works out, not because you're pretending, but because you are aligning with the truth that your thoughts shape reality. The turning point in every great life does not begin with a chance, a gift, or a break. It begins with a decision made with such finality, such certainty, that the world cannot help but shift in response. When you decide that everything always works out for you, you don't just change your mindset, you change your reality. But understand this, it must be a real decision, not a half-hearted wish, not a maybe, not an I'll try. A decision in its truest form is a commitment that leaves no room for retreat. You must burn the boats behind you. You must lock the door to doubt and throw away the key. When you make a decision with finality, the universe reorganizes itself to meet you. Opportunities that were hiding begin to appear. People you need start arriving. Circumstances you feared lose their grip on you. Why? Because you have removed hesitation. And hesitation is the enemy of momentum. When you are still negotiating with your fears, still debating whether it's possible, still weighing whether or not things will work, you are standing still. And the one thing you cannot afford to be in this life is still. Final decisions are powerful because they leave no energy for doubt. The person who decides that the outcome is already theirs behaves differently. They speak with authority. They move with confidence. They are not seeking signs of success. They are creating them. They do not wait to feel ready. They act because they have decided it is already done. This is not arrogance. It is not delusion. It is alignment. Alignment between your intention and your action. It is the signal that commands reality to catch up with your belief. Most people do not fail because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity. They fail because they never truly decided. They dipped their toe in the water of their dream, then ran back when it felt cold. But you must decide that there is no option but forward. You must decide that life does not happen to you, it responds to you. It bends for the one who will not bend. It yields to the one who refuses to yield. When you act as if everything always works out, you are not being naive. You are being strategic. You are stepping into a mental framework that generates solutions, attracts support, and sustains energy. And the first and most critical step to that mindset is the decision to believe. Without condition, you must believe before the evidence appears. You must commit before the way is clear. You must plant your flag before the mountain even shows itself. The world does not wait for the hesitant. It moves in favor of the one who moves with purpose. So, decide now. Decide that this is your time. Decide that the outcome is certain. Decide that no matter how long it takes, how hard it gets, or how often you are tested, you will see it through. Decide that every obstacle is simply a stepping stone, every delay a lesson, every challenge a forge for your character. And when you do, when your decision becomes unshakable, you will find that everything begins to conspire in your favor. Not because life suddenly got easy, but because you stopped giving power to doubt. Act as if everything always works out. But first, decide, truly decide, that it already has. There will come a time, perhaps many, when the world around you offers no visible sign that your dream is becoming reality. You may look around and see nothing but resistance, delays, or even failure. And in these moments, when logic tells you to quit, when fear whispers that you're wasting your time, you must do the hardest and most important thing: hold the vision. When you act as if everything always works out, you're not depending on circumstances to affirm your belief. You're depending on your decision to remain loyal to your vision, especially when circumstances scream otherwise. This is where most people fall. They begin with fire, full of excitement, ambition, and dreams, but when the results don't show up fast enough, when the approval doesn't come, when the plan breaks down, they retreat. They let the external world rob them of their internal truth. But you are not most people. You are someone who understands that the vision is not held by the world. The vision is held by you. And if you do not protect it, no one else will. You must treat your vision like a seed in the soil. The moment you plant it, it disappears. It looks like nothing is happening. You water it, you nurture it, and still nothing. Doubt begins to creep in. But if you abandon that seed because you can't see the roots growing underground, you will never taste the fruit. The ones who reap are the ones who keep tending to the invisible, who keep showing up with faith, not proof. The truth is this: life will test you. It will ask you, how bad do you want it? It will disguise opportunity as hardship and growth as struggle. But you must respond with unshakable clarity. You must say, I know what I saw. I know what I felt. And I am not letting go until it becomes real. You must keep your eyes on the outcome even if your feet are stuck in the mud. You must hold the image of success in your mind so clearly, so vividly, that it becomes more real to you than the noise around you. The greatest creators, leaders, and achievers all have this in common. They held on to their vision through ridicule, through poverty, through rejection, through silence. They were laughed at, ignored, and told it would never happen. But their vision outlasted every voice of opposition, and eventually the world had no choice but to catch up. And so will yours. To act as if everything always works out does not mean you ignore obstacles. It means you refuse to make them final. It means you keep your spirit above your situation. It means that no matter what the world throws at you, you throw back belief. You answer fear with faith. You answer delay with discipline. You answer disappointment with direction. Let the vision live in your mind with more clarity than the confusion that surrounds you. Let it be so strong that even when the path disappears, you keep walking. Even when the door's shut, you keep knocking. Even when no one believes, you keep building, because in the end, the world will move for the one who refuses to surrender their dream. Everything always works out, but only for the one who never lets go of the image of victory, even when surrounded by the evidence of defeat. So hold the vision, especially when it's hardest, and the day will come when that vision will hold you. There is a force greater than talent, stronger than circumstance, and more decisive than fate. Bold action taken without hesitation. To act as if everything always works out is to move not with timid steps, but with bold, deliberate movement that tells the world, I am certain and I will not wait. The moment you hesitate, you invite doubt. The second you delay, you weaken momentum. Success does not wait for the cautious. It meets the bold on the road of motion. People often wait for the perfect moment, the right alignment of conditions, the right mindset, the right signs. But let this be known, there is no perfect moment. There is only now. Those who win are not those who had better timing, but those who created timing by moving before they were ready. You do not get ready and then act. You act, and through that act you become ready. Boldness creates clarity. Movement creates momentum. Action opens doors that planning never will. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve lies in one thing: the willingness to move when fear says, wait. You must act as if success is already guaranteed, not because you're faking confidence, but because you know that movement attracts outcome. A river flows not because it knows its exact path, but because it refuses to stand still. Likewise, your progress depends not on perfect knowledge, but on perfect intent backed by action. Do not ask the world for permission to move forward. Do not look around and wonder if it's the right time. If the vision lives inside you, it's already the right time. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are the decision maker. You are the initiator of momentum. Boldness is not about noise or bravado. It is about moving with certainty while others are still contemplating the cost. Every successful person has one thing in common. They acted before they felt fully prepared. They said yes before they knew the how. They jumped while others hesitated. And by doing so, they put pressure on life to respond. They forced themselves to rise, to adapt, to grow, because action demands evolution. If you only ever act when you're comfortable, will live your whole life inside the prison of safety. And safety, while tempting, is not where destiny lives. Bold action also sends a message to your subconscious mind. We are serious. This is happening. Every time you move forward, even in a small way, you reinforce belief, and belief compounds. Every step taken in faith strengthens the foundation under your feet. You begin to see progress where there was only fear. You begin to see results where there was only resistance. The world, once resistant, begins to yield. Now understand this. Boldness is not reckless. It is not impulsive chaos. It is the disciplined courage to move with decisiveness even when the full plan isn't visible. Life does not give full blueprints. It gives whispers, hints, urges. And if you wait until everything makes sense, you will bury your dream under years of analysis and excuses. So the call is simple. Act boldly and act now. Trust that the road will rise to meet you. Trust that every move forward puts you in greater alignment with your outcome. Trust that life supports the one who shows they're all in. Don't tiptoe toward your dream. Run toward it. Own it. Command it. Begin before you're ready, because readiness is not the starting point. It's the result of motion. The moment you act boldly, you separate yourself from the crowd. The moment you act now, you begin to build the momentum that draws success into your orbit. Words are not just sounds. Words are declarations, commands, blueprints. Every time you speak, you are either building the life you want or reinforcing the life you fear. Most people speak their worries, their doubts, their limitations, and then wonder why their life reflects more of the same. But the one who acts as if everything always works out does something radically different. They speak as if it already has. Your words are the carriers of your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your actions, your energy, your results. When you say, "This isn't working," or "I'm not sure I can," you are not just describing a moment, you are declaring a future. You are planting a seed that, if watered, will grow into more frustration, more uncertainty, more struggle. But when you say, "Everything is working out for me," even when nothing seems to be, you are placing a higher order. You are telling the universe, your subconscious mind, and everyone around you, "I have already decided how this ends." This isn't about pretending. It's about choosing your language with precision, because your language becomes your lens. If you always speak from your circumstances, your mind will be trapped inside your limitations. But if you speak from your vision, your mind will stretch, rise, and create new conditions to match your words. The power is not in observing reality, it is in commanding it. Think of every word you say as a tool. Are you building your future, or are you tearing it down? Do your words reflect belief or fear, conviction or confusion? You must discipline your mouth to match the outcome you desire, not the situation you're facing. Speak of your goals as if they are already yours. Speak of your journey with pride, not pity. Speak of your setbacks as setups. Speak of the end before the middle makes sense. Speak life, and life will answer. You've heard people say, "I'm just being realistic." But reality is nothing more than a delayed reflection of your dominant thoughts and words. If you want a different reality, you must stop speaking what is and start speaking what will be. Say it clearly. "I am built for this. I always find a way. Everything I touch turns to progress. The right people are being drawn to me. The next level is already mine. Say it even when you don't fully believe it, because your subconscious mind doesn't argue. It accepts repeated instructions as true. This is why affirmations are not just motivational fluff. They are mental rewiring. Every affirmation is a mental rehearsal, and what you rehearse, you become. The more you say it, the more you see it. The more you see it, the more you live it. The more undeniable it becomes. Words shape energy. Energy shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcome. If you want a better result, start with better declarations. Speak it until your doubts are drowned. Speak it until fear has no room to breathe. Speak it until your energy changes, your posture changes, your decisions change. And when they do, the world will change with them. The most powerful phrase you can use is, "This is already working in my favor." Say it when things go wrong. Say it when you face delay. Say it when you win, and say it when you lose. Every time you declare that everything is working out, you are aligning with a future that matches your words. And that alignment is the birthplace of miracles. There comes a moment on every path worth walking when logic will tell you to quit, when every rational part of your mind says, this isn't working. The numbers won't add up, the time will feel wasted, the progress will seem invisible. And that, right there, is the moment that separates the few who achieve from the many who surrender. Because success does not belong to the most talented, the most gifted, or even the most intelligent. It belongs to the ones who persist when it no longer makes sense to persist. You must understand, logic can only calculate what already exists. It cannot measure what is becoming. It cannot predict the breakthrough that's one action, one conversation, one moment away. If you live only by what makes sense, you will live a life confined to what already is. But if you are to act as if everything always works out, then you must persist, even when nothing around you validates that belief. You must press on, not because the path is easy or clear, but because you've made a non-negotiable decision to finish what you started. Every person who built something great was told at some point, this isn't working, it's time to be realistic. But they didn't stop. They didn't bow to the opinions of those who couldn't see what they saw. They were not measuring success by current results, but by internal commitment. Their persistence had nothing to do with logic. It was anchored in vision. When you're fueled by vision, you keep building the bridge long before you can see the other side. The truth is, most people quit too soon. Not because they didn't have the ability, but because they gave up when it started to hurt. But you must learn to stand in the pain and keep moving. Not recklessly, but relentlessly. Persistence is not stubbornness, it is belief in motion. It is the quiet, daily refusal to stop, even when no one is watching, even when progress is microscopic, even when you're tired, frustrated, or alone. It is the ability to say, I will not break because I already decided I would not. The greatest breakthroughs often come just past the point of maximum resistance, when the doubt is loudest, when the delay is longest, when the failure feels final. But that is not where the story ends, unless you stop writing. You must persist beyond the point where most people quit, because that's where success lives. Not in the early excitement, not in the first win, but in the long stretch where nothing seems to be working and you keep going anyway. Let people question your timing. Let them doubt your methods. Let them walk away. But do not doubt yourself, because when you persist beyond logic, you step into a realm where most never enter. It is the arena of the unreasonable, the territory of the unstoppable. It is where dreams go from ideas to outcomes, simply because someone refused to quit. You don't need everything to make sense right now. You don't need a full map. You need endurance. You need a stubborn belief in your vision. You need to get up when it would be easier to rest, to keep trying when the last effort failed, to keep showing up when the world gives you every excuse not to. That is the cost of greatness, and that is the path for those who choose to act as if everything always works out. Because in the end, it does, but only for the one who is willing to walk further, last longer, and believe deeper than reason ever allowed.